What's up? I'm Grizz. Welcome back. Skipping Loafer, episode 4. We made a new friend last week. That was cool. I don't really know what else after that. We've done a good job. We're progressing. We're moving things. Everything's going well. The only thing is we don't have something, I guess, set up that I guess we're supposed to like kind of be focusing on or expecting, like say this episode. The only real thing in my opinion that's like really been set up to that point has been something regarding Shima and what's going on with him. But I feel like that's more of just something keep in the back of your mind because it might come up at some point, but it doesn't necessarily have to be now. So how they handle that, I don't know. So I think we just get into this episode and figure out the direction we're going from there and then continue to move on from then. That seems like it'll work for me. I don't know. I feel like it all hit the like and subscribe do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments about this episode or the series in general, as well as leave any recommendations for other shows you might want to see me watch at some other point in the future. Episode 4, Skipping Loafer. Let's go. I don't know that feeling in the slightest, I'll be honest. I like barely made it on time for class today, not gonna lie. Oh. What's up? Oh, cultured, yes. I will not speak for him. But I will decline. I was not talking about you. Yeah, good luck with that though. I hope all goes well. No, you're gonna put too much on yourself. Yeah. Oh no. I don't know if I like the way of him going about this. I know what he's gonna try and do, but like, you're gonna see something that you wouldn't expect. Yeah. Well, can't even focus on that too. He seems pretty good. Exactly, so why is he not doing it anymore? Okay, this might create some problems. This definitely can set up a few things. And he won't tell me anything, so I have to go through his friends. See, I don't like those type of things. And Mitsu's gonna be so easy to get to do it too. And then things might turn on her. Please do it when you're alone. Yeah, I don't I don't think I will, but cool. So why is he here? But he hasn't. Good, she's picking up on that. There you go. He might get a little upset. And if you do bring it up, this is something you should bring up in private at least. But I still wouldn't bring it up. Unless he brings it up to you. Did she not answer anything? No, her day's falling apart. Oh no, her mind's elsewhere. How you doing? Checking in. Just trying to make conversation. Yeah, there's something on my mind. At least she said that he, right. Sure. And possibly to improve him as well. So I'm kind of just leaving that all in my past, yeah. And what is your situation with that mom now?
地元に残って何かするのも良かったけど、結局そんな場所って全国にたくさんあるわけじゃない？そういう問題の根本的な対策とかに携われたらなーって
Nice.
ほら、私地元の振動だからね。
I got big shoes to fill.
立派な目標じゃん。
Yeah.
つみちゃんも兼近先輩も。
あ、自分のため
Is
に
it just because they kind of have dreams that they can do for themselves like that?
目標を
Yeah.
応援するってことは期待されたり応援されたりするってことでしょ。耐えられなかったから情けないけど。
The expectations of others, that is, or of yourself? I guess either works.
私も勝手にプレッシャー感じてガタガタになったりしたよ。
Mm.
いちゃん、餃子食べ行こう。もし食べとる間に覚えてたんだ。はいはい、大丈夫やわいね。
It'll escape the brain if I go. No.
験終わったらさ、またここ来て餃子食べよ。落ちても受かっても。落ちたらなんもならんもん。世の中的にはね。でも挑戦したみつみちゃんにはでっかい意味があるし、それを知っとるうちにもある。
First bit of food I'll ever taste. It's a reward.
おいしい。自分のためにやってることでも知っててくれる友達がいるのは嬉しかったな。
Somebody who can support me along the way. Yeah.
いいな。
Having somebody like
じゃあ
that.
私たちもそうしよう。これからもし島くんに
I'll support you till the end.
どうなっても島くんの行きたいとこ行って美味しいもの食べよう。
It's a promise. Yeah. I like that.
絶対に入らないそうです。
So please stop asking.
理由は聞いたんでしょ。
He just tells it.
友達だからこそ。
気が変わったらいつでもおいでって伝えて。
Cool. I'll leave an open invitation.
友達なのですが、
Hmm.
そのいろんなとこ連れてってもらったんだ。
Finally got out of the house.
初めて行くんだもんね。
Yeah.
服も買ってもらったんだ。よかったね。
You needed it.
俺は中間試験の勉強でどこも行かなかったな。
私も。
Midterms.
本格的な勉強してるの？してない。
Here I was, carelessly.
自分はストイックな方だと思ってました。でも高校に受かってからどうしても気が抜けちゃって、どこから何を
I'm just going out and about in the city thinking it's all.
といえばダメですね。
I don't have time.
納得いかねって。知
Alright.
ってるだろ俺らが真面目にやってんの。
真面目に活動している部活。
She's got her shit together.
まとめてきたら検討するって言いましたよね。用意してないんですか？
Well done. Wow. I aspire to be like you.
あなた自分の中の甘えを断ち切りたくて。花園先生からこの学校で高峰先輩ほどストイックな生徒はいない。
Just true. We've seen the schedule. We've seen what she does.
お仕事とかご一緒させてもらえないでしょうか。先生がそこまで言われちゃ断れないわね。ありがとう。
She's easy if you praise her.
我が校で一番サボり上手な教師といえば花園先生だよな。
I am unfortunately a massive slacker as well.
私の場合、努力しないと追いつけないタイプを
Right.
始めたのがこのスケジュール管理というわけ。
The schedule
なる
again.
ほど。冷静な自己分析とたゆまぬ努力。かっこいいです先輩。そうこの性格のせいで週1回は電車やバスに乗り遅れてるのは秘密だけど、こんな風に分かってくれる子も
Yeah.
先輩の私が正しく導いてあげなければ。今朝コンビニでこういう時間よみつみさん。今日見ていて思いましたが、あなたはふとした瞬間にぽやっとする癖があるよう
You
な。
literally just got done. Okay.
参考書持ってきてるでしょ。はい。移動時間も無駄にしちゃダメ。
Yes. No eating.
後悔のないように過ごさなくちゃ。はい。後悔のないように。2分後にバスが出る。みつみさん。野山さんの畑ってあっちの方ですかね。それは今度にしましょう。走ればバスに間に合うかも。はい。そうだった。ストイックストイック。
Right, right. And we missed it. Well, time to go check out the farm though. You gotta eat. Okay, she found the.
どうしたの？なんかそこ
He was just here, so I picked him up.
家猫ですよね。懐っこいし、どこから。
Real smuggy look. Okay.
真面目だけど、根本的に いやー、15分ぐらいで次のバスが来るっていいですね。
Yeah, before we'd have to wait like hours.
まあ、焦ってもバスが来るわけじゃないものね。
Yeah, but you could use this time to be studying and being productive, couldn't you?
ドアの隙間からスルッと出たみたいで。
Here, take some candy. Yeah.
いただきます。この辺車通りも
When an older person reaches in their pocket in one of these, you just know what they're giving you.
63分
あ
今日の予定範囲チリだけでもバスでできるかしら。見てください。
No, Mitsumi, focus. Oh. Wow.
東京にもこんな景色があるんですね。
Sometimes it's best to take a step back, relax, enjoy what you got in the moment. This is somebody who's always so disciplined, as they're saying, and working so hard. Bringing somebody like Mitsumi into her world can kind of change the way she does things or make her appreciate some other things a bit more.
いいか。たまにこんな日があっても。
Right. Not all the time. I mean, for me, all the time, but others, you should probably, in moderation.
私もスケジュール管理真似してみよう。まずは今までの無駄な時間を振り返らなくちゃ。コンビニ飯を買うときは3分で決める。決断力は完了になってからも必要だもん。休み時間ももう少し勉強に使おう。
This is too hard. I'm gonna lose all my friends and my... Yeah.
お出かけの誘いは3回に1回は断る。
Nightmares and panic attacks over her missing the bus and not being on schedule. Oh, look, it came back to me. Because I stopped worrying so much. What a dream, oh my god. Wow, just floating through the sky. Looking at the view with the cats.
おはよう、島くん。
おはよう。どうしたのそのクマ。
I was making a schedule.
ひどい。スケジュール考えてたら寝るの遅くな。
You don't have any time.
ないよ。
Yeah.
まだ慣れてないだけだから。
Once I get on the schedule, it'll work though.
おはようございます。
Oh, she was viewing her as the cat. This is kind of leaving her wandering around.
昨日はありがとうございました。考えることもあるけど。
But look where you're at now.
今の高校生
Yeah.
だって気に入ってるわ。
Cool.
どの時間が自分にとっていいことにつながるかなんてわかるのはずっと先のことだもん。
For sure.
だからやっぱりあなたが選ぶってことが一番大事だと思って。
お望み通り持ってきてやったぞ。サッカー部のここ数年の活動実績、部員数、もろもろのデータじゃ。どうだ、これでも。
ないです。今日中に目を通して検討します。
え？
回答は明日か明後日で大丈夫かしら。
いいの？
Yeah.
うん。
Just be reasonable and do what you gotta do, and I'll help.
瀬川さんが作る。
Yeah. Huh.
そうだよ。
Aw.
俺急に応援伝じゃねえし。
みつみちゃんはみつみちゃんのやり方でいいんだ。
Right.
ここまで計画してるし。
Gonna get my value out of all the time I spent on it.
固執するのってそれこそ時間の浪費じゃん。
Aw. Don't break our heart like that.
島くん冷た正論。
Aw.
ごめん、悪気はなかったんだけど。
でも確かに。
ほら、みつみちゃんの良さってさ、みつみちゃんは
Slowly inch away.
しっかり持ってるっていうか、スタイルが。
This episode kind of feels like something that focuses on two central themes, and they both kind of combine for a theme of almost finding yourself or just finding the thing that works for you. But the two split off parts that I'm more so thinking of are things such as setting expectations for yourself or having expectations from others of you, and not really living exactly how maybe you want to. And then in the latter half, just figuring out exactly the things that work for you. But at the same exact time, while you might want to push yourself to do things and figure out exactly what works to you, and if you have to stick to such a strong schedule, such as Mitsumi Senpai in the situation has to, take those times to kind of look up and kind of just reflect on the beauty of things around you or take things in, because these are opportunities you might never get back again. So while it's good to stay on certain schedule and kind of discipline yourself to a certain extent, sometimes just taking it easy and relaxing and enjoying the little things that you have in that moment might be the better route for you to take. But at the same time, some other people enjoy other things and they might work out better. And honestly, I think All of this just constantly recalls the one thing that like keeps replaying in my mind throughout all these episodes is just what Shima said to Mika very early on about sometimes just you gotta relax, like just enjoy yourself, enjoy, like that's don't take things as serious sometimes, and you'll find yourself having some more fun and find yourself just enjoying and being a bit more comfortable and confident in the situations that you're in, and it might turn out better that way. And it's honestly something I feel like is exactly what happened in this episode, where we see Shima, somebody who seems to be kind of taking it a bit more relaxed and just trying to enjoy what he has now and not so much focus on the things that happened before in his past and where he's been. And while he understands, you know, that stuff might come up and others might have to talk about it, and it's still going to be something that's with him and it's always going to follow him forever. And he's always going to have to bring it up and talk about it. It comes to a point that he's just trying to change up and enjoy what he has now and what he is, and not really reflect on that too much because there is nothing that he can do to change that. And while Mitsumi Senpai, on the other hand, is in a situation where she's having these constant nightmares and these things that are coming to her in her dreams that are making her struggle to sleep and actually focus and do everything, because she's so strict on the schedule that she feels like if she misses an opportunity, everything, like her entire day, can be ruined and she can mess up so much. Sometimes just take it easy, you know, find time to enjoy yourself and figure out exactly it is what you like and the good things, you know, clear your mind in some sort of way, whether it's literally as simple as lifting your head up and looking outside of the window and taking it out of that book, because this is an opportunity and a view that you might never get to see again. It's then and there, take that chance, you know, don't focus too hard on these things that will be there for you later on, you know. I think that's the most like concise way I can kind of put that all together, if it ended up making any sense there. But I think that's kind of where we were headed for in this episode, as each one so far seems to have had a central theme almost, or something that they've been trying to kind of preach. And while this episode almost feels like we're focusing kind of on two other characters completely outside of Mitsumi seems to be the also central point in both of these to kind of connect and make these situations occur and having this impact on other people still. But at the same exact time, she's learning and taking in these experiences from other people to kind of expand who she is as a person and understand things better and just put herself in a better spot that she wants to be at in the future. And it really works out very nice, and it's really, really good to see. As we kind of open things up with, how do you say his name? Konichika Senpai? I think that's what she was calling him. He is a interesting one to kind of, I guess, dive into and think about a little bit, as he leaves a bad taste in my mouth, I guess is the only way I can kind of put it. I think it gets resolved a little bit better than I was expecting, for sure. This whole situation actually got resolved well better than I expected, but his overall response at the end of exactly, you know, how it was taken is interesting to me, because that was better than I really thought. I don't like the idea of prying into other people and kind of using others to get to others, if that makes sense, which I think some of you were able to kind of understand by how I felt with Mika early on. I think episode 1 or 2 or whatever it was, with her kind of getting close to Mitsumi in a way, or kind of inviting her and bringing her along for things. Specifically, it seemed like just so she could get Shima along, because she could see the relationship between them. I don't like that. I don't like that idea, unless it's something that like everybody's involved in and everybody kind of understands, or it's beneficial for everybody. This situation does not seem like something that would work for that. It's clearly a situation where he has talked to Shima specifically about his past, or tried to at least approach him about that, and he's been shut down about something that he doesn't want to talk to. Shima's been very vocal about this to him in the altercation that they ended up having, and he still continues to go out of his way to find Mitsumi and kind of expose what Shima was hiding, and then use her as a way to get in and kind of get more information out of Shima, just not even to make him join the club, but just to get a reason so that he can satisfy himself. And that's where I kind of start having an issue, where I don't like that idea and that approach of doing things. I understand the idea completely, that sometimes like you need closure in a way. So in this situation, he may just not feel right about letting somebody who has so much potential and it was so good in the past at what he's done just miss out on this opportunity, especially because it's something he cares so much for, about his own club and, you know, making it better and improving himself along the way. So having somebody like Shima to work alongside would work perfectly for him. But in this situation, he kind of seems to be playing it a bit more selfish, where he's not thinking of how the other person might feel. He strictly is just focused on what exactly can improve himself in his situation. Yeah, his tactics just don't really work for me. I don't like them. But I mean, I can understand it, but it comes off selfishly to me. But I mean, I guess I could also understand it if it's something that he's really working hard on and he wants other people to fully be able to embrace and see this. And then you could kind of promote his club and the things that they're putting on. If you can kind of promote Shima in a certain way about like somebody else who was this child actor and all this other stuff going on, that I think can make sense. So he's kind of looking maybe at a bigger picture like that. So he doesn't see what he's doing as much harm. Also because he doesn't feel like he's putting anybody in a bad position besides maybe making Shima talk about his past. But that's where it does bother me because he specifically said, I don't want to talk about it to him. So that's where, you know, things are a little weird. But this got me nervous initially too, because I was worried that Mitsumi would end up taking this info, going and talking to Shima, and then Shima would get angry about why she was bringing that up, especially if she didn't bring it up in private and she brought it up with other people around, and why exactly, you know, she would expose something like that. And also just he wouldn't take too kindly to that because it clearly is something that we've seen before that he doesn't want to talk about. So that definitely got me kind of nervous. I like to see the internal thoughts that she was having though while she was kind of thinking about possibly bringing it up to him, and how it wasn't really smart of her to do so, specifically because he hasn't brought it up to her. It might not be her place to say something, and if it is something that she was in that position, like she tries to put herself in his shoes and understanding the idea that if I was in this position, I would easily brag to everybody, or I would tell everybody about what I used to be or what I could do, right? Why is he hiding it? Why was he not openly stating that to anybody? And that's the conclusion that she comes to, is ultimately he doesn't want other people to know, and there's a reason why he's not showing this off. And it's nice to see she is picking up on those type of cues, because this is something that we've seen her build towards now for the past couple episodes, of understanding things and picking up on things from other people. And while they haven't gone entirely well, specifically thinking that like Yuzuki and other girl, not picking up on her name, last episode at least, weren't getting along for whatever reason, and just her kind of not picking things up entirely right, it's nice to see her kind of pick up on something and understand that. Then plays into just a funny joke of her kind of spacing out, and it also actually just plays into what's going to occur throughout the rest of the episode in the second half after we resolve this issue, but of her completely spacing out and not like doing anything on her quiz. Or I don't think she did anything. I believe it was all empty, but it doesn't really matter. Even maybe she just didn't answer all of it, but it doesn't really matter. She completely just lost herself there and was just stuck in thought and completely spaced out to it. It made for a funny moment though. After continuously spacing out for the entire day and ended up getting a bloody nose due to being hit in the face with a volleyball, I think it was, Mitsumi goes to the nurse and she ends up seeing her. So they have a nice little conversation while that's occurring, where she comes out and basically asks him about it, or brings up exactly what happened. And I like the way she approached it by not specifically just asking as herself, but more so asking with the inclusion of the drama club member, whatever his name is, and like making sure that it's known that he's the one who is interested in knowing and wants to know. And that's the only reason why she's been kind of spaced out for the entire day, because she's been thinking of how to handle and approach this. And it's resolved a lot better because we get to see Shima kind of just be like, it's not a big deal that you ask, like it's okay, and kind of be a bit more open because he is more comfortable around her. So it's somebody that you do want to maybe share a little bit with. And while later on we end up finding out she, you know, won't share any of that info with them, which was really nice to see as well, kind of just keeping it as like a promise, or not a promise, but keep it as like a little secret between them, or just something that you can trust your friends with by giving that info off to them. Shima essentially just states out the idea that it's something that while he was good at, and it seems like he was very talented and just gifted in what he was doing, it wasn't for him. It's not what he wanted. It's not something that really drove him. And even now, he kind of is just drawn to it because he has a past to it, which is why we saw him show up and actually watch the play that was going on. But it's not something that he ever really enjoyed doing. And it was more so for the fact that he had expectations and goals kind of set for him, and he wanted to live up to them more so because his mom was really happy about when the stuff was occurring, which is really, really shitty. It really is. And sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes it's something that I'm assuming a lot of people can relate to in a way, is parents putting expectations onto the kid, or just kind of putting their own hopes and dreams in the lives that they wish that they had, or the things they wish they did, and kind of expecting that out of the kid to kind of take full advantage of that. And they're just trying to use the child as like a second version of themselves, like to correct all the mistakes that they made in a way, which definitely sucks, because that's something that happens a lot. That's something that a lot of people can definitely relate to, especially when it comes to stuff like sports. I know. Also, sorry for a lot of my examples that I use probably will wind up being about sports. That's just because it's something that was very relevant into my life, especially growing up. But this, like more so me, I played baseball a lot when I was younger. So it was the idea of having to live up to expectations that other people might have set on you. Now, I was fortunate enough in that situation of nobody kind of expected me to do something that they couldn't when they were younger almost, or kind of expected things out of me. That never actually happened in my situation, so I'm very fortunate for that. But I definitely have seen that happen with friends or just people around me on teams where the parent kind of goes completely overboard, and that's why like even you get them in the stands, like the parents trying to just cheer on the kid, but then they take things a little too serious and they take it way more serious than the kid actually does, and they just drain all the fun out of it and everything that you want to do, and you become embarrassed of having them around almost. And then you start to grow resentment in a way, which is something that very possibly could be happening in Shima's situation here, where he kind of expressed his disinterest in doing acting anymore, and his mom had an issue with that, and then now maybe he doesn't have too strong of a relationship with her. It's something that's very possible, actually. It's very, very likely too. He seemed a bit down when he was specifically talking about it. Now, we don't know their relationship, so we're not really going to have a true understanding until we know a bit more about that. But it is something that's entirely possible, as it seems like she specifically put these hopes and expectations on him to get as good as he could and probably make as much money as he could, especially while he's younger, and grow up and become this famous person who's very talented and good at what he does, so that she can kind of live off of the wealth and the fame that he kind of comes along with, even if it's not something that he wants. And part of the beauty, I guess, of growing up and, you know, doing things is learning from mistakes and figuring out the things that you like and you don't like. And that's why you try new things and have these different experiences, because they're so, like, they can be so impactful on you and the things that you want, and really alter and determine what you become and what you want to do in life. And Ishima's somebody who seems like maybe from a young age he kind of realized there's other things I want to try or other things I want to do, and that's ultimately why he's here where he's at today. He wanted to put himself in situations, he wanted to be able to meet people like Mitsumi that he probably would never have been able to learn or meet if he was able to, if he was stuck the entire time just becoming an actor and having to meet people who are very similar to who he is and were brought up kind of similarly in a way. And it's nice to be able to experience these things and meet unique and different people and just put yourself entirely else, right? And also be free. You don't have pressure on you and expectations and, you know, hopes for you that others may, and it makes you extremely kind of free and just be able to experience things that you want and try new things that you want to. And I like how Mitsumi kind of understands this and sees him maybe get down a little bit or not seeing the usual happy, smiley, you know, version of himself. She tries to relate it so much to herself to kind of maybe bring up the mood or make him kind of feel reassured that what he's doing isn't necessarily wrong, or that it is a lot when other people have expectations on you and stuff like that. And being able to relate it into things that have happened in her past before, why she's here, why she's, you know, working towards the things that she is, and then also just the situation that she had with her friend Fumi, and what happened when she was studying so hard to be able to get in for entrance exams, and just being able to have that person around that can pull you out and kind of be there for you regardless if you fail or if not, you know, like they don't have these super high expectations for you. All they want you is to go out there and accomplish the things that you want, but if you fail, just know that they're there for you regardless and can pick you right back up or help you get onto a new path if you want to change up or continue focusing on the things that you want to, and will be there, you know, to just take you out and have a conversation and eat some food afterwards, just like she had to with Fumi. And it can really just do a lot for a person, just drag them out of what they have to. And that was kind of the situation that she was in. Well, it's not the, you know, worst thing that could happen that you just have to sit inside and study for entrance exams for something, but it's the darkness that she's in this home, and being able to have a friend who is that light themselves pull you out into the outside and become, you know, that's the new light that you're into, and enter you into something else, and now be able to experience and see things from a different way. Really, really cool. And then just to top it off, the promise that they make about pulling, you know, if something like this ever happens, if Shima ever finds a goal for himself, something that he wants to accomplish, then Mitsumi will be there for him to kind of just share a meal with them and help him out, regardless if he, you know, fails or succeeds or gives up on the goal or continues to strive for it. No matter the situation, she'll be there to help him or just be there and support in some sort of way, and not make him feel stressed and put all these expectations on him. Just the pinky promise between them, cutest thing. And I absolutely cannot get enough of this. So I'm loving this so much. Mitsumi later finds herself after this to continue to still be spacing out or realizing while coming back from break that all of the people around her are kind of studying and taking things a little too serious, and she's just kind of enjoying where she's at right now, being able to explore the city and all this new stuff, and that she's still spacing out more than she needs to, and she needs to kind of focus up and get a bit more disciplined and get back to what she was doing if she's ever going to be able to achieve these goals that she has. And as a result, talks to her teacher about it, and the teacher kind of just recommends her to talk to Takamine senpai, which I believe is the vice president, I think she was. So they start having a conversation, and she talks to her about possibly taking or having her being taken under her wing in a way so that she can learn to be disciplined, because she's the most disciplined person in the entire school. Where essentially we get an entirety of just like setup and conversation between the two that shows off that while being so disciplined and being so, on such a tight schedule and really forcing yourself to make sure that you can get everything done and not wasting any moments that you have, and constantly be figuring out something, for an example, while they're just sitting on the bus having to read off of your book and read notes and just kind of study, so that you're not wasting that time that you're just sitting, they're just aimlessly doing things or just having pointless conversation or something like that. This can be something that helps you get your work done quicker and allows you to stay on task with everything that you're doing. And it's a very stressful and hell of a situation, in my opinion, to kind of put yourself through, where you're giving yourself no free room to kind of just relax and breathe and enjoy the things that you have in life. And we even find out that she was having these nightmares like all the time, where she kind of thinks about missing a bus because she's too busy out doing something and she doesn't have enough time, or she just misses it for a minute or two, and then she has to wait another 15 or 30 minutes for another one to show up, and then she gets put even more behind schedule, and now she's staying up even later, and then you ruin your sleep because of it, or because you focused on so many other things. But then you're so hard on yourself because you're like, damn, I really have to get better on this, and then you kind of revise and fix your schedule over and over until you can kind of get it down to a point. And every night she kind of just thinks about, oh shit, like she starts having nightmares about what's going to happen if I miss this, and then all this other shit can go wrong for her, and it's literally the worst thing. Imagine your own nightmare being the worst thing like in your life, and that's just you missing a bus. Like, that's so crazy that it's something so simple like that can really bring her down and just break her down crying. Meets me, of course, because she's so easily led on by others and gullible, I guess is the right word, to kind of just take in exactly what her senpai is telling her and doing here. Starts thinking that she might need to put herself on a schedule and might need to do all of these things. The scene of them missing the bus and then finding a cat to play with afterwards, and Mitsumi kind of just being that person to kind of settle her down a bit and be like, we already missed it, we're already gonna lose all this time anyways, might as well just sit here and enjoy ourselves and play with this cat and just have an overall good time and enjoy it. And there's no like looking back, like there's nothing you can change from that point on. And that's something that Takumin would probably just sit there and overthink and be like, shit, now I gotta revise these things that I'm doing, or oh, if I could do this, or I could use this time now that I have 15 extra minutes to kind of just sit here because I ruined my schedule. Like I could maybe fit something in that I was supposed to do when I get home or something, or while I was on the bus, and I can kind of get that in now and just constantly be so focused on what you're doing and go, 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 go. Doesn't take the time to kind of just sit back and be as carefree or, like Mitsumi is in the situation, just kind of enjoy the things that are around there. Oh, look, I found this random cat, and just spend 10 minutes playing with it, enjoying it, because there's nothing you can do to get that bus back or get it to come faster than those 15 minutes anyways. So you might as well take your time and enjoy it, right? I think my favorite scene probably of this entire episode was just Takumin being so focused on the fact that she did ruin the schedule, and now she's so much time behind and trying to just figure out what she's going to do and kind of freaking herself out almost, and her head's just stuck down in her book, and Mitsumi just being that light of a person to kind of let her, pull her up and be like, take your head out there, like look out here for a second. And the moment she does take that breather and just look outside, she realizes something that she probably would completely miss out on, an experience that she would never end up having. She didn't take her entire time and enjoy exactly what was going on around her, and realize how beautiful of a view this was that she possibly couldn't get ever again, especially at the exact time, because situation lined itself up so perfectly with the sun coming down and everything, just making everything glow and be so beautiful. Maybe help her just understand there are more things to life than the way that she's presenting the situation and the way that she's doing things. And it's the perfect opportunity for her to kind of experience this and just try new things. Also, I think it just does a good job of showing how infectious in a way me can kind of be, and how having somebody like this just around you can kind of bring you into these new experiences and just enjoy yourself a bit more, because having somebody just like her who's kind of maybe a bit spacey in a way, as she was trying to tell her earlier, isn't necessarily a bad thing, as she does present new things and opportunity for her that Takamine would never be able to really have if it wasn't for this. So we get to see that all wrapped up really well too, with her having another nightmare of this bus just leaving her behind, and then it ends up coming back to her. But when it comes back to her and it's time, this cat is also here where it arrives, and this cat just kind of pulls her along and brings her on this journey where she can experience the beautiful views outside as they go through the starry sky and just this wonderful place basically, and experience just having fun and not taking things as serious and enjoying yourself a bit more. And later on end up seeing, when we see Takamine again, that the cat is what she was seeing Mitsumi disguised as, and that's this person who's kind of just bringing her along and taking her out of her own world and kind of just putting her on a new path. And it's beautiful to see, just, you know, enjoy exactly what you have. And I feel like I keep repeating myself over and over, but I really do think that's just essentially what somebody like Mitsumi kind of brings to the table and is bringing to allow other people experience this type of stuff. And then ultimately just the conversation at the end between Shima and Mitsumi about her not, you know, being up all night creating this schedule and kind of just ruining things and being so tired now because she's stuck on the schedule, but it's only been like a day. So you just got to give her time to adjust to it, because everything will work out afterwards once, you know, this really gets into motion. But Shima being able to just be like, you know, it's not going to work for you. Like, why are you doing this? It's such a waste of time, which just goes to show that you can't live other people's lives. I think that's the easiest way to sum it up. Everybody's different and everybody deals with things different. Everybody just handles everything different. Some people can function certain ways. Some people can work on 2 hours of sleep, you know. Some people, back when I was in high school, I could always just wake up, or I'd go to sleep at 2, 3 in the morning, wake up for 6, no issue at all, right? Every single day I would do that. And then I'd go home, I'd go to work as soon as I get out of school, basically. So I'd be out of the house from 7 to 9 at night, right? And it would be every single day, essentially. That's exactly what I would do. And I had no issues. I mean, sometimes, sure, you got a day off and you're just tired the entire day, but the body can hold up throughout those entire days and you have no problem at all, even on such a little sleep, you know. And it's just, some people are built that way that they can work, and it works for me. But I do have friends as well who have never been able to be in that situation. If they get anything less than like 6 hours of sleep, they fall apart completely, and they absolutely need to get some sleep, or they need to come home and have a break between that they can take a nap or something and not have to go to work afterwards, or just, you know, do something like that. And everybody works at different paces. Everybody's on a different schedule. Everybody's on a different page, and holding yourself to be exactly like somebody else, even if you idolize them, just trying to be like somebody else isn't always the right path. And kind of just finding what works for you and following along that way is such a great thing for you to be able to do and experience. And hopefully Mitsumi can kind of understand that and take that from Shima here, and kind of just know, I'm wasting my time doing this, and being able to maybe not get so much caught up on the idea of wasting time, but get more so caught up on the idea of there's more out there for me to do, and let me just experience it and enjoy myself and find it. And this is exactly what she can do. Don't hold yourself to be like somebody else just because you look up to them or they're capable of doing certain things that you may not be able to. And don't hold yourself on the schedule. Everybody also has different paths completely. Just because she's able to get the status of where she's at right now by holding herself to the schedule doesn't mean that you'd have to do the exact same thing. How many times have you seen two people have the same exact job doing something, but they do things completely different in their life, or they've got completely different work ethics or something, but they're still held at the same exact standard? It's literally essentially the same thing. You can't do the exact same thing as somebody else and just hold yourself to that, right? And even sometimes you can, and you can get to the same exact place as them, but more so where I'm trying to get at is you can do things entirely different than somebody, but still wind up at the same exact spot. So it's just finding what works best for you and moving along with that path. I'm happy the thing with Shima got resolved as well as I felt like it did. I feel like we still need to learn a little bit more about what went on with him, but I think a lot of that was kind of resolved. So I'm just curious. I don't actually know, once again, where I felt like we were at the beginning of this episode, where exactly we get pulled to next. Probably just another story, another new character maybe get introduced, or maybe just more inner things between the current group that we have and figuring out, and just expanding where Mitsumi's at as a person, her experiences that she's having. And that's honestly probably the route that we're going to continue to go. That's all I'm really going to have, though. I feel like I just rambled a lot, like on and on, continuously saying the same thing. I don't know if that's actually what I did. I'll have to go back and watch, of course, while I'm editing, but sorry if I did. But yeah, that was just me trying to get the ultimate point across. But yeah, I absolutely love this show. It's been great so far, and I feel like I kind of just can nonstop keep going on and on about what I say, so I have to kind of cut myself at a certain point. This will be it. If you liked it all, hit the like and subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me. Feel free to follow me on Twitter and my anime list. Both links are in the description. Leave any comments about this episode or the series in general. Recommend anything else you might want to see me watch at some other point. I'll be back for episode 5 next week. You have a good one. Thank you for watching.